Konnichiwa, Kawaii Critic here to review RWBY Volume 5, Episode 10, True Colors. Oh boy, it's about time we got a little bit of a longer episode. I was getting a little bit tired of all these teasing episodes going back to back. So in this episode, we have Crow talking to Oz about their odds in battle. And RWBY joins them, and she asks about Cinder with being a Fall Maiden and what that could all equate to. Meanwhile, Crow gets a call from Leo, who, if you remember, is on the opposite side. Along with him now is Yang's mother, whose name still evades me. Is her name Raven, by the way? I'll just ask, and let me know in the comments. I think that's her name. I think that's what she turned into, so I think that's her name. Anyway, she's talking to Leo about manning up and being brave, or joining the right side, because that's what led them to survive for this long. And for her, that is what it's all about: survival. Meanwhile, we cut to Blake's mother, whose name I should also get, by the way. I don't know her parents' name still, but her mother joins the battle. And she does a pretty good job on her own. Well, she does have someone with her, but she essentially takes care of it at the end of the episode. Anyways, Blake gets into that fight we saw with Ilya. And we see that her father gets, that being Blake's father, gets stabbed by one of the White Fang members, one of the brothers of one of the two of them. Don't know which one's which, but anyways, so Ilya slips out, tries to get out of the situation, but then Sun Wukong comes in to join the fight, and he gets to fight Ilya for a bit. So Ilya ends up in the situation where she's under this, essentially this pillar that is crumbling, and the father saves her from the pillar. Blake pulls in one of the White Fang members, one of the brothers, into that pillar that was crushing while pulling her father out. So the brother ends up dying, and then Ilya ends up crying because she's finally starting to see oh man, I really screwed up. So they end up arresting the other brother of the White Fang that ended up being a part of this attack. Afterwards, Blake makes a speech about how the Faunus were the ones responsible for this, and I am so glad that is where they went with this, because I can think of a few instances where, we have real-life situations where violence appears to be this quote solution, and ends up just being a mess. Black Lives Matter movement, much a part of that. The mayhem that some of those riots caused. Yeah, I was paying attention to that. I'm not saying that all the members were bad, but I'm saying there were some pretty bad things that happened because of some of those members, and it poorly reflected the entire movement because of that. And whether you're for or against that movement in particular, it is poignant that it is, when people are responsible, they should be made responsible, no matter what part or group they are in. That is the way I feel. I think that is a responsible ideology to have, instead of just saying, oh, it's, they were a part of this group, and they felt underappreciated or whatever, so we'll let them slide. No, that's not how this world works. I'm sorry. People need to be, put in, the responsible thing needs to happen in these situations, and I'm glad that it was Blake, being the character that she is, having her step up and say, listen, this is not the way to do this. Let us figure out another way. So Ilya wishes to join Blake, and Blake forgives Ilya, which is important, by the way. Totally noticed within the battle context, that whole shipping moment when Blake was on top of Alia. Nom nom. Anyway, the rest of the Faunus within the area decide to finally join Blake and her family, and she mentions a ship captain. I'm not really sure what she was referring to. I forgot which episode that was a part of. Maybe it was the ship that brought them there initially. I think that's what they were referring to, but I don't know. So, a lot of things I don't know in this episode. I apologize for that, but I really do appreciate this lengthier episode with actual things happening. That's kind of nice for a change of pace. I would wish that RWBY would continue this type of pacing instead of like, oh, we're going to recap and then tease, or oh, we're going to do this small thing and tease. I really appreciate this type of episode that feels like it's a tease, but it also feels like a conclusion to something as well. So, good job, RWBY. You got yourself out of that pit, but I still have so many concerns about this volume as I did with Volume 4, so we'll see where it ends up. And that is my review of this episode. Stick top ting tong tori. And if you enjoyed this episode, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye!